Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. I keep feeling called to make a little intro. I don't know, like it kind of almost feels like setting expectations. I'm not even, honestly, it keeps like cycling through my brain though to do it. And I feel like that alone is reason enough, to listen to it. So I'm not going to take any card. I'm just going to shuffle and I'm just going to blab for a second. I'm not going to take any cards that come out though, because this is going to be the intro for all 24 readings that I do, because I cannot repeat myself that many times. Like I will legitimately implode. So, tarot for me has always been a way of organizing my thoughts and feelings. When I first got into tarot myself, like some big life things happened. And I needed to organize my thoughts. I needed to organize my feelings, and which is very Virgo moon of me with my Cancer rising, right? It's like, that the over analyzing, write everything down. And literally that's what I did. I had a whole notebook, and I had a page dedicated to every single tarot card. And I went through every tarot deck I had at the time and I wrote down the keywords. I was watching tarot videos on YouTube myself. And anytime somebody would say something about a specific card that resonated with me or was like, ooh, that's actually a really cool perspective or way of like understanding that card or combination of cards. And I would write it down in my little notebook. And then I kind of expanded from there and started giving friends and family tarot readings. But anyway, all of that is to say, right? Like I'm not psychic. I'm not claiming to be psychic. I do know these cards and I trust the cards that come out. I trust the order that they do. I trust the message that is being given to me. So funny. There's the Queen of Swords. And also, that's why I explain each card, because it's definitely part of my own processing, but also giving you information on the cards so that you can use your own discernment. You can check in with your own intuition, because we all have it. And maybe I'm not saying what is coming through for you about a specific card, but that is very much a message for you to honor. So definitely pay attention to that, right? Like definitely pay attention to any type of whispers, feelings, just things that are dropping into your consciousness as you are watching these readings, because no doubt that is a message for you. I'm more than likely not predicting necessarily anything for you. I am probably confirming what you already know to be true in your situation. But also that is very important, right? Because, if you have confirmation that, again, right, like your thoughts, your feelings, the experience, the circumstance that you're going through right now is actually what is going on, then it almost like frees up the energy. It frees up some mind space, some consciousness, almost even like opens your receptors to what's next. Like, okay, that is true. I don't have to necessarily focus on that so much anymore and kind of, spin my wheels on that. But yeah, so again, right? I mean, I may not be predicting anything for you. It's interesting because like, I don't necessarily think that's like my purpose right now, but at the same time, like I do feel like that's changing a little bit for me. And I'm keeping my receptors open, right? Like I'm welcoming the energy however it is going to change, if it does. who knows? So yeah, like I said, I'm here to confirm things. I mean, who knows? Possibly predict shit. But where I thought there was, okay. Like I thought there I saw a card that was turned over. And ultimately allow energy to flow. So anyway, I think that is all that I want to say. For the time being, I can't tell you. I have no clue if I'm going to repeat something similar in the next series of videos. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. We go where the energy takes us as long as it feels good. And it did. So we did it. And with that, we're going to get into the readings. Also, before we both forget, hit that subscribe button. Just go ahead and do it. Hit the like button. Leave a comment would be cool too. But yeah, okay. With that being said, let's get into the readings. Great. So, where are we? Let's see. Sagittarius? Yes. Look at you guys. This is a reading for Sagittarius. Wherever Sagittarius shows up in your chart. Actually, yeah, let's take that. I love it. Cards are just coming out already. I didn't have a plan for the spread, but, taking the cards that come out. I don't take the cards that flip in the deck because I want commitment, and if they have a message, then they have to actually fall on the table. All of my decks, I've had this conversation with. Okay. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, Two of Swords. I kind of feel like there's maybe one more. There we go. Ace of Wands. Yes. Look at. Start with an ace, end with an ace. Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. High Priestess. Six of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Let's see. Kind of move stuff over. Okay. I mean, we have every element out here too. Just kind of touching on each thing. Okay. It's also interesting that all of these cards are like new. Starting something new, interested in something new, trying new shit. Even, the Two of Swords. It's closer to 1 than it is to 10, right? So it's interesting. And like literally the Page of Wands is equivalent. It's like, they have the Ace of Wands in their hand, and now it's like starting to take action, being adventurous. Even like with this Two of Swords, I was getting this feeling of like throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks type of thing. And just not sure, it's like having these ideas, even this Ace of Pentacles being a new opportunity, setting off on an adventure here, even with this, because there's this house back here. They're walking through this field. Their attention is on this one pentacle. Having the opportunity to focus on that pentacle too. Like, what do you want to grow from that? I was going to say establish, which works too. Like, what do you want to establish? Something new. Also very like spring, summer vibes, which makes sense because and there's just a lot of crazy shit going on, like energetically for literally, at least this whole year so far. But a lot of that starts breaking up between April, May, definitely by June. We have big planets changing signs, like Neptune's changing signs this weekend. We have the last Aries eclipse happening this weekend. Uranus is going to be changing signs. Jupiter is going to be changing signs, right? So like there's just, like the outer planets, just big shifts that way. And those are, the planets that are slower. They stay in signs longer. So, like Neptune hasn't been in Aries for like 100 and what they say, like 60 or 80 years or something like that. Like, so nobody even really knows like how that's going to go. So even just feeling a little uncertain in general. Venus and Mercury retrograde. So the point of me saying any of that shit is whatever is going on right now, don't necessarily attach yourself to anything. It is a time to try new things. If a new opportunity presents itself, go for it. Right? You can always change your mind all the time. If a new path presents itself, as it will, as it always does, you can make the decision to, I'm going to go over there. Right? Like whatever sparks your interest, whatever allows you also to be creative and passionate about something, right? Like having an excitement over something, purpose, which definitely something I've been struggling with myself lately is just a lack of purpose. Just, something to like funnel your energy into that means something, that potentially helps other people. That, for me personally, I mean, maybe you too, of course, but purpose, right? That could be any one of these cards, truly. I also love that we start with the Ace of Pentacles, and at the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles. All of this is also like very personal. So there's not another person on any of these cards, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to do with other people, but it is about, discovering these things within yourself. Maybe a path will present itself that hasn't yet, because that's what this Page of Wands is, right? Like they were on this path down here, but then the cat's like, hey, look, look over here. This looks interesting. Or, it at least isn't the same, I just kind of get this image of like driving down the, like if you're kind of like on a road trip, and just how kind of boring it gets. Like just, I mean, if you've ever driven through Texas, or if you've ever driven through also Utah, like between Colorado and like, is it Richfield or whatever? Like it's just nothing, and, like veering off, like getting off on an exit because I don't know, maybe there's a gas station, or, maybe there's an overlook or something that allows you to get out of the car and stretch your legs. It's exciting. It's different. It's new. You haven't seen it before. Just as an example with this Page of Wands here. And then it, like the Page of Wands, it like all they really necessarily care about is the adventure of the thing. They're not like settling on any one thing right now. Right? I mean, we can see they have their broom and like as little baggage as they can carry, literally, like not even wanting to be tied down to anything, not wanting to even like lug around a ton of shit, whether that's literal baggage or, hypothetical or, emotional or, whatever other type of baggage there is. But I love it. This new opportunity here, even being open to, like I said, right, this new opportunity, and spring, summer, the Page of Wands, being open to adventure, being curious too, because truly, like, curiosity is what is going to take you down this path. Also, even like trusting that whatever is down that path is going to lead you to exactly where you need to be anyway. It either is or isn't for you. And either way, you're going to find out by walking down that path. And if it's not for you, then you veer off on some other path that, again, inevitably opens up for you. If it is for you, you keep following it until something else opens up or until you get the information that you need. The Two of Swords is indecision. This is the card that was making me feel that, like throwing something against the wall and seeing if it sticks. They're blindfolded. They're throwing, knives at that bullseye. They got a bullseye in that card. So even if you feel like you're going into something blind, you have no clue what. First of all, that's very effing brave. And I feel like that's very like Wands energy too, like fire energy, as you are. I feel like Sagittarius is just bold in general. The couple Sagittariuses that I know, bold as shit. Brave too, courageous, but it's like one of those things too of like, even if you don't necessarily feel brave or you feel courageous, it's like there's no other way, right? Like, I have to go this way to see what's over there. That is brave. To me, that is courageous, to me. But again, right, I mean, they are blindfolded and they still hit the bullseye. It's interesting here too that there's this crow, because I believe that crows or ravens represent change. So, it's like no matter what you do, it is the thing to do. Really, though, what it comes down to is actually doing it. And with swords being, the suit of our mind, our mindset, our beliefs, how we think about things, how we perceive things. It's also truth and honesty. The only thing, and with the Two of Swords coming out and that being the card of indecision, or even to like analysis paralysis, or just having too many ideas so that you don't take action on any of them, or you can also like convince yourself that A and B equals C versus, something else. Like, I was trying to go with a math thing and I fucking suck at math. But it's thinking that you have to have both A and B to equal C versus just doing it. Like, maybe B doesn't even show up until you do A or whatever. Maybe B isn't even possible until you do A. Like, however it is, but it's like this kind of indecision or, spiral, or again, like thinking that this has to be in place before I can do that, when really, I mean, you could do any of those things without the other existing at all, Like, this path was already there as they were like way back over here in the Ace of Pentacles. Right? Like, this, it was already established, but they wouldn't have even seen that path if they didn't start walking in some direction. If they didn't take whatever other turn that they took down the road somewhere, right? It's like, but you have to do it. And if you would have just sat there and thought about all of the possibilities or all the different ways, or, again, just kind of not being able to decide on which thing that you start with, you wouldn't have even come across this. And then the Ace of Wands on the other side. Look at all these different, there's a book, there's, this fen. Well, yeah, I guess fen, it's a feather, quill, I guess, pen. There's a map here. There's a palette with paint on it. There's music symbols. The Ace of Wands is like that spark. It's also even like very kind of Aries energy. To me, like it just, boom, happens, Also, even being able to have multiple passions, like being able to spend time reading a book, writing a book, journaling, whatever, but then also recognizing that on the creative side of things, maybe one of your creative outlets is drawing or painting or whatever, right? And, even listening to music or moving your body. There's, again, even this map here exploring different things. So it's maybe even being able to divide your energy or like your attention, and also how all of those things like help you accomplish potentially the same goal. Like if you just sit there and, if you just sit there and read, or if you just sit there and write, or if you just sit there and journal, right? Like, I mean, at some point that's just going to become like obligation, or I want to say exhausting in a certain like sense. But then, if you allow yourself to refocus your energy on coloring or, whatever, drawing, painting, it doesn't even have to be those, but just some other creative outlet, get the juices flowing, right? Maybe even helps calibrate whatever you're writing about, transmute it, right? Or even like get clear about some things that you're chewing on. Dancing too, or listening to music, that also like helps transfer energy, transmute energy. Also, even too, because I just started focusing on this fire here. It could be, well, and you are a fire sign, because I'm like, oh my God, do you just like throw all that shit in the fire? I wanted to see like if the book mentioned anything specific about that. It doesn't. It just was talking about, it being very empowering and, going after the opportunity when the opportunity presents itself. Multi-passionate is like what is coming through. Even also like how all those different aspects could maybe even help you in some way. Of course, all that shit is to help, right? Like, moving your body, listening to music, again, right? Transmuting energy. Same with, being creative, like having some sort of creative outlet that also transmutes energy, right? And like even journaling, writing, reading transmutes energy. Whether you're learning something from a book, even, just getting lost in the story of a book, or again, sharing your own experience, it does transmute energy. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the High Priestess, Six of Wands. Again, I love that there's the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Again, the queens are very individual. It's, for me, the queens are when we embody the energy of the suit ourselves. We learn to work with it. We learn to master it. We learn to give it to ourselves, right? Because, I mean, we have to know how it works, how it benefits us, right? Before we can share it with other people. There's this big, chest that's overfilled with money here. So this is financial stability, financial independence. There's this mama cat with a little kitten. So, the Queen of Pentacles is like the mother hen. Definitely, self-care, stability. It's literally, I mean, it really is like depending on yourself for security. And it happens. Even, the abundance back here with the fruit. There's grapes, there's apples, I think is what that is. There's these berries back here. It looks like blueberries on this plant back here. I mean, truly, all of your needs are taken care of. The High Priestess being literally smack dab in the middle of all this feels like fate, like a fated time. I also love in this High Priestess how she's doing a tarot reading and like looking into a crystal ball. There's all these books back here too. It's like having the knowledge, but also I just, like I said, I see the High Priestess as being like a bit of fate, because too, like, it is very much like about your purpose, like finding your soul's purpose, connecting, locking into your soul's purpose, even if that is like for now, or even if that is just, it seems the beginning stages of that. Definitely it's the right time. Trusting yourself, trusting your intuition. The Six of Wands is success. All of this shit is like all very positive for success, recognition. There's all these people clapping for this person here. And that it is like between the Two of Swords and the Ace of Wands. The actions that you have taken, like all of the different paths that you allowed yourself to, explore, all of the things that you learned, because that's what we get too by trying things, right? Like, you get more information. What do you like? What don't you like? What, are you surprised at all by the things you liked and didn't like? And, new possibilities showing up. This is also like success after or victory after battle, because like the Five of Wands is that the competition, the training, the conditioning, the going through it stage. The Six of Wands as being successful. You think about how hard athletes train for literally, a meet that lasts a couple minutes, right? Like, just thinking about like a runner or something, how hard they train, or a swimmer or whatever, right? How hard they train, and literally how fast does the race actually go, right? So that's all of the things that have happened thus far will be happening, right? Like, there is this success here. And then the Eight of Pentacles is like putting in the work, coming up with the right formula, even just finding the thing that you believe in, and that, again, like, you want to reproduce for other people. You want to put your energy, your resources, your time, your materials, your money, into, because you believe in it. And it's like honing in on the correct recipe, whatever that, in any aspect of life, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily just have to be like selling oils or, like something, it doesn't have to be that, but it's, just finding the right thing that you do want to spend your time doing, building, perfecting. Beautiful. I'm leaving it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.